here on this beautiful day at a Motorsports Northeast autocross, and I believe I have found, knock on wood, the quintessential budget Miata build with a turbo.
The air was charged with the power of positive thinking. Style was in style, and Mazda introduced the Miata. No one knew then they were looking at the car that would be named Automobile of the Year.
Oh, the Mazda Miata. You can't go to a track day or an autocross without encountering a zillion of them. But there's a reason why they're popular. They're cheap, they work, and you can modify them for next to nothing. Take, for example, Louis Milan's Autocross and Time Attack Miata. If you look up cheap thrills on the internet, this should be the first result.
This car started off with the fact that I couldn't beat a stock Miata with my 240. Autocrossing is just, these cars grip. I never was the biggest fan of them, but being behind the wheel, knowing the kind of grip that they make, there's no question of having a Miata.
There's a big hole in the hood. There's wood, there's like awesome, giant, massive wheels under some nice paint flake. I appreciate that.
So this car got me through a lot of NASA HPD to the point where I became an instructor with NASA. I was doing time trials, and I think it was about 2 years ago the rules changed. The car, non-turbo, was beat bad. My exhaust was dented, the suspension was shot. It was basically one of those, I need to rebuild the car so I have a car for the season.
NASA? That's the National Autosport Association. Not the dudes who send astronauts into space. It's one of many racing groups where Miatas breed like rabbits. What's interesting about Louis is that he built his Miata into a competitive NASA time trial machine. And he did it using parts that he and his friends already had hiding away in offices, attics, basements, and of course parted out cars. Nice.
I had two friends that were partying out. One was partying out a turbo drift car, 1.6, and my other friend was partying out his supercharged car. And they're like, good friends, so like giving me stuff cheap. So I'm like, all right, I'll buy everything from you, I'll buy everything from you. That ended up being the turbo kit, which was more amazing than I can figure out. It's a $50 motor. Now, granted, that was a hookup from my friend, but I bought his last motor before that too, and that was also $50. These motors aren't exactly high-performance motors. It's a non-interference iron block motor. It's a lump of iron in the front of the car that takes a beating. The only thing I did change was the valve stem seals. That's because I think it was burning a little bit of oil, and I did a baffle in the oil pan just for reliability. The body kit came around, again, because the NASA rules changed. I was doing time trials. I had that wing, I had that wing sitting in my office cubicle for about 2 years. Then the rules changed and it was like, all right, the wing can be as wide as your car. That wing is for a 240, it's too wide. So what's the next best thing? Make the car wider. So by doing the body kit, it made the wing legal. My friends gave me the body kit. It literally came out of my one friend's basement, where it had the front of it, the back was in my friend's attic, and within a matter of a week, it was just zip, just self-tappers and tape, and it was on the car. Like, that's it, I have racing to do, let's put the car together. The splitter was the same thing. I talked to a lot of the racers that we have, the wheel-to-wheel guys. Their splitters are disposable. I don't want a $200–300 piece of carbon or whatever in front of my car. This is 20 bucks. The stain is just me being a jerk because everybody, Rust-Oleum's black.
What here is not stock? You just kind of point at it.
All the turbo goodness over here. Super Miata radiator, the whole cooling system I went through. I even cleared out the front because it normally has a thermostat neck here. I took all this apart, put a blocking plate and a freeze plug and all that nonsense. One single belt, just, it's all, I wanted simplicity. So everything that I didn't need was removed. It is a budget car, but I will spend money where things are important.
Yeah.
And to me, suspension is one of the most important things because that's how the car drives. I mean, turbo is cool, but to me, power is an afterthought. Because I love just walking a high horsepower car and then they fly by me, it's like, oh, why did he lift? No, he didn't lift, I'm still flat. Like, So being able to pick on high horsepower cars when you have a little piece of crap it's an amazing feeling.